Peace. This is King Noble, Black Supremacy. And with this particular video, I want to really challenge Brother Polight on his upcoming debate with Christians versus the conscious community. And what I want to say is that the conscious community actually is another form of Christianity. The conscious community is another denomination of Christianity. There's no difference. The Christians believe in this as far as one's salvation, one's righteousness, the afterlife, and different thought groups within the conscious community have their beliefs about it. The conscious community makes up a lot of denominations of Christianity. Let's say several denominations of Christianity. The conscious community has derived from Christianity for the most part. Its origin is in Christianity. It is blackened Christianity. And it is metaphysicalized Christianity in a lot of ways. But it is pretty much the same. Just like the Kemetic people say, Horus is Jesus. They talk about the virgin birth, and they talk about Isis or Aset. They make a lot of correlations. And a lot of the consciousness in the conscious community, a lot of it is New Age thought that came from the New Age movement, that came out of the Christian Science movement. A lot of the conscious community is Christian extremism. They've actually took Christianity to another level. They've took being righteous to another level, being healthy to another level. But this drive for righteousness and health and purity has come from out of Christianity. In some instances, they feel like they've become better Christians. They just don't use the word Christian anymore. It's not enough to be a Christian. They got to go and study the Hebrew. They got to go back to the Coptic. They got to go back to Ethiopia. They got to go back to Egypt. They got to go back to Sumer. They're super Christians. They're ancient Christians. Every fulfillment of Christianity, the conscious community is the fulfillment of it. They've taken it to the next level. They took being a Christian to the next level. They pretty much have the same morality that they intend on acting out. Like they want to remove the hypocrisy that we see within the church. They want to remove that hypocrisy and fulfill Christianity. If you look at some of them who think they have alternative thoughts, they talk about polygamy. They say, well, that's something else. That's the conscious community, polygamy. But that's Christian fundamentalism. The Mormons are polygamists, and it talks about polygamy in the Torah. Every idea that you think is unique to the conscious community is inside the Bible. It's inside of the scriptures. And you can find it. So no, I would say no, there's no difference between the conscious community. The conscious community is Christian extremism, whether you're a Hebrew Israelite, whether you're off into the metaphysics. No one believes in the God of the Bible or the true God of the universe more than someone within the conscious community. They just blackened it. They more identify with it. Whereas in Christianity, it's objective. And within the conscious community, it's become subjective. That they are connected to that God. Whether they represent it in its most pristine and truest way, or whether they acknowledge themselves to be God themselves. They are extreme Christians. The whole quest for truth is biblical. The idea of truth and man's salvation is a theological concept that is connected to Christianity. seeking the truth so it can set them free. The whole truth movement is coming out of Christianity. It's coming out of the New Testament. There's no difference between the conscious community and the Christian church. Absolutely no difference. They have the same conservatism, same conservative ideas. No difference. So I don't know how you can debate the conscious community versus Christianity. I think Christians are conscious of God and conscious of life in a particular type of way that they call Christianity, of many denominations. And I think conscious people in the so-called conscious community are conscious of God in many different ways. Whether they say Yahweh or Yashrallah or Yahshua, or whether they say Horus, or whether they say they are Christ, Christ consciousness, they are the God, or whether they say the black woman is God, is still dealing with God and truth in someone's denomination and someone's perception and someone trying to find the truth when the beginning of their journey for truth started with Bible. It started with Christianity. Their whole journey. And at the end of the day, most of their choices agree with Christianity. Most of their decisions agree with Christians. There's nothing different between them and Christians, other than the fact that they don't go to church on Sunday. They might not have a particular pastor. But if you look at them sometimes in Whole Foods, or you just look at them on the streets, you can't tell the difference between someone who is conscious and someone who is a Christian, unless they're eccentric and they're wearing ankhs and they're wearing African fabric or African garb. But then you got African Orthodox Christians who are Afrocentric and Christians, and you got Coptic Christians. So, I mean, Christianity is not polarized to being conscious. It's just something else to be conscious of, something else that black people are conscious of. It's how black people see the same things that they was forced to look at through the Bible. Now they're looking in that same direction and looking at those same things in a different way, and they call it conscious. But they have not let the type of mind, the type of template that the oppressor has given us go. To come with a whole new radical shift in consciousness and a whole new radical shift in their perspective. They're still Christians. That's why they're always arguing with Christians. Because to argue with somebody, you have to halfway agree with them. It's one thing to debunk them and disprove them, but to be in an argument with them, saying you have the truth, you don't have their truth, because they have not even been programmed to see the truth that you have, to be able to embrace that truth. So they're still, the fact that they're arguing with Christians, they're Christians. They half agree with Christianity. They validate the religion, they validate the group, they validate those people. There is no difference between Christianity and the conscious community. Same thing, same stuff. This is King Noble Black Supremacy. Join my website, www.kingnobleBlackSupremacy.com.